The path is off the map, uncharted and undone, where only the strong endure. The test is internal. The test is vital. The test is a quest for something new and meaningful. Cause there's gold in them there hills, and it will take innovation and creativity to strike it.
Yes!
Believe the rush. Never give up. Grasp the glory. Trailblazing is the labor. Discovery is the prize.
Hello everyone, welcome to Copper Mountain, Colorado. It's day 2 of 5 out here for Dew Tour 2021. We are getting set to kick off the men's Ski Slopestyle Qualifier out here today. Taking a look at some highlights for some practice. Warm-ups have been going quite well out here today, Pete. And well, we had some weather yesterday, and conditions are looking a lot more favorable out here today. It's a little more conducive to some slopestyle riding.
Definitely about as good as it gets. Some sunshine out there, good weather, fast snow. So we're going to see some great runs today.
Yeah, you got a couple of different features to contend with out here. We'll talk more about the course in just a little bit. We'll take a little sneak preview here and show you what the features look like out here. But again, it is a bluebird day out here this morning. There you go. It's a balmy 25 degrees out here. Yesterday we had some winds that were whipping around. Visibility was kind of low. We were doing the pipe qualifiers, but winds have died down a little bit. We're looking at about 10 to 15 miles per hour as I channel my inner meteorologist there. So you got a couple of different features to work with here, Pete. We started off with a couple of different rail or jib features, and then you get into the jump section. Let's talk about what's on course out here today.
Yeah, the 3 jumps and 3 jib features are going to be split half and half. The judges are going to be judging at 50% either way, so all 6 features play into that overall impression.
So as I mentioned before, this is just the qualifiers here today. The big job today, you're trying to move on into that final. We have a total of 26 athletes in the field out here today, but out of that 26, Pete, only the top 10 are going to move on into the big dance when we do the finals later on this weekend. You're going to get 2 runs out here today, and it is the better of those 2 runs that count, and the best possible score you can get. The judges are working off of a 100-point scale, and you see that tagline there at the bottom of that graphic. Overall impression, well, Pete, break it down. What is some of the criteria the judges are going to be surveying out here today?
Well, the judges are going to look at progression, amplitude, variety, execution, and trick difficulty, and that all plays into the overall impression to get those scores to rank everyone. They're going to end up having over 50 runs to watch today and have to rank each one of those runs in order.
So that is how we're looking to get things started here today. Hi, everyone. I'm Jimmy Coleman. This is Pete Arneson, by the way. And or as I'm going to call you, Dew Tour Pete, as one of the judges told me to call you. DTP?
Mountain Dude.
Mountain Dude.
Yeah,
all right. I like that.
Me.
You got a new tagline. It's some new branding.
Do it.
So we've got a lot to do here today. I mean, you got 26 in the field, and then we just run. There's no heat, so we just go straight through the order, then go back up to the top and do it all over again. So you're going to have a lot of time to wait in between runs.
Oh, definitely. It's going to be a lot of skiing and a lot of different runs for the judges to have to break down too, so we'll see how that goes.
They definitely have their work cut out for them, but the good news is you can actually see today, unlike yesterday. We had, as we said, the visibility was a little bit low, and the wind blades are not whipping around as much as they were yesterday. If you're into stats, check out Dew Tour by the numbers. We've got over 200 athletes competing out here this weekend. It's an international field, Pete. You got over 18 countries represented out here. You've got over 100 Americans that are battling for 24 Team USA Olympic spots. We'll dive into that more as we get into competition here. There are some Olympic points up for grabs. So top 6 athletes per country. But we've talked about the mountain. We've talked about the course. We've talked about the conditions. You talked about what the judges are looking for. Let's take a look at the start list. There's your first 14. Pick some standouts here. Who do we watch for?
Well, right now we have Colby Stevenson, who's leading the charge in the points for that Olympic qualifying spot. Right behind him with Mac Forehand. So there's going to be some bigger names up there. Alex Hall, who skied really well at Steamboat a couple weeks ago. And then some of the perennial favorites like Nick Gepper, but also some new names, Connor Ralph and a few of these other guys from the U.S. are definitely going to be pushing up into those spots.
So there you go, 26 skiers in the field out here today. It's 2 runs apiece. It's the better of your 2 runs that count. And the big story as we move through this qualifier out here today, only the top 10 are moving on into that final. You're hoping to get on the Dew Tour podium this weekend, but again, everybody's vying to get on the Olympic team for their respective country. So here we go. We started off with a Swedish competitor, 27 years old. This is Jesper Cheddar getting things started here.
Jesper, known for very creative rail tricks, flipping onto rails, flipping off of rails, so he's definitely a fun one to watch up in this top section.
Well, right out of the gate, he's going to be the one that sets the bar here. So just to recap, you got 3 features at the top, 3 different rail sections, if you will. Then you get into the jump section, and we are underway here for the men's ski slopestyle qualifier.
Yes, we're getting things started with a nice backside 360 switch up, and then the front side 360 switch up on the second rail feature. So both ways 360 switch ups. The switch left 270, pretzel 2 on that one. Coming into jump number 1 with the switch left double 9, getting that Japan grab right behind his leg. Coming into jump 2 with the right side double cork 12, holding that mute grab. Coming in switch to the last one with the switch right double 10, just getting over that knuckle.
So there you go. Jesper sets the bar here with a full run, or a complete run, I should say, to get this thing started here. Again, it's a 100-point scale. We'll take a look at some beautiful slow-mo replays, and then we'll see what the judges think.
So look at that front side 360 switch up. Just coming off a little bit early, judges are going to take into account. They didn't quite get all the way through the rail on that one. There's the switch left, double 9, getting that double Japan on that one too. And then a look at the last jump here with the switch right double, getting the Japan under the leg, and just barely sneaking over the knuckle there. But a nice clean run to get things going.
As we settle in for about a good hour and a half worth of slope style skiing out here, we'll get your scores here in just a second. Taking a look up top there, that is our next competitor, Mr. Nick Gepper out of Lawrenceburg, Indiana. See Jesper heading off to get a ride back up to the top, waiting on that score to come in.
Looks like he's chatting with maybe DC down there.
Oh yeah, third member of our team, DC. He's out there in the field. I'm sure we'll check in with him quite a few times as we run through this competition out here today. Did you see the Toyota Tundra that was perched precariously out there on that first jump feature?
Yeah.
We're going to call that the Toyota Twofer because you got an approach on either side.
That's a good one.
You like that?
Yep.
Okay, if you come
up with that?
I did. I'm firing it off the cuff there.
Proud of you.
Hey, man. That's how it works when we're sitting here in the booth together. Mr. Gepper from Lawrenceburg, Indiana, checking the phone, maybe setting the playlist there before he drops in for his first of 2. Jesper's going to check in with a 59 flat to set the bar here. Again, we are just getting underway. This is round number 1 out of 2. We have 26 skiers in the field out here, so Nick's got the tunes all set. Tighten up the gloves. Let's see what he brings to the party here. The men's ski slopestyle qualifier.
Nick, definitely one of the guys to watch for, especially up in this top rail section. Also going that backside 360 switch up, continuing 4 out. Little bobble there in the landing, but still going switch on, front swap. Oh, and getting caught up on that and going down.
It's gapping out, sliding out right there. So tough break right there. However, with the format, it's the best run that counts, so this one's going to be a throwaway, but that's tough when you're second competitor in. You have an early slip up there.
Looks like he's just going to use this run to kind of get his speed on the jumps. So he's ready for run number 2, but he's got quite the time to wait to go up there and do a second run.
Well, the good news is he's got time to go down to the village there, get a coffee, maybe grab a can of Mountain Dew, get a kickstart. Try to kickstart yourself into that round number 2. So that's going to do it for run number 1 here from Mr. Gepper. See if we can take a look here at what went wrong on this gap out transfer.
See, as he tried to come off from that transfer and just got caught up right on the top of that A-frame rail and just going down trying to do that frontside switch up.
See by the body language there, a little bit of frustration, but yeah, that one's going to be, you're going to be tossing that one out with an 8.25, so got plenty of time to go through the motions and figure out what you want to do in round number 2. Coming up next, out of Sweden, 21 years old, this is Oliver Magnusson.
Getting things started, going to the opposite side here. First guy coming in on this other rail with the switch right 270, pretzel 450 off of that one. And the second feature with the backside 360 switch up, just tapping the end of the rail there. And the switch left 450 on there, so biggest rail spin so far. And now coming in to the Toyota Twofer with the left side.
It's catchy,
double cork 10. Just getting over the knuckle on that one. And then the right side double 12, holding the mute all the way through, nice and clean. Into the switch double 12, little double wobble there. Nice run.
So again, you got Jesper Chatter sitting in that top spot with a 59 flat for now. This is only our third skier in here this opening round of 2.
Here's a look back at those rail features. There's that switch right side 270, locking that front edge and pretzeling off to the 450 there, spinning the opposite direction. There's that switch 450 on. Nice and clean. And then making his way through the jumps, also clean. Just barely getting over those knuckles. Looks like speed is a little bit of an issue for him so far. Here's a look at the switch double 12, wrapping up that first rotation and then grabbing safety through the second one. Nice clean landing. Looks like that one might jump up, maybe challenge that top spot right now.
I know it's a little early to get you to walk that plank and start doing score predictions, but 73.75, so right out of the gate, you're on point. So that puts Oliver in that top spot as of right now. Coming your way next, 19 years old from the Greater Lake Tahoe area, a little place called Truckee, California. We welcome in Cody LaPlante for his first 2. So you got a 73.75 and a 59 flat, your top 2 scores here in the early quarter of this round.
Cody getting things started. There's the backside switch up to backslide. Not quite getting that all the way through. He tapped his front foot. The judges will take into notice on that. Switch 270, pretzel 2, just washing that one around. Going into the switch 450 to switch. So a few bobbles in the rails, but he's making his way into that first jump. Then going with the switch right, double 9, Japan. Sitting back for speed, trying to get more speed in that next jump with the double 14. And sitting down again, getting as much speed as possible with the opposite way double 14. So back-to-back double 14s at the bottom of his run.
So a solid first run there for Cody LaPlante. We got Mark Hendrickson and Peter H. on deck.
So here's a look back at that first feature. See him get that backslide where he's 1 foot on the rail. And then he taps his foot at the end as he loses balance. So not exactly what he wanted there. There's a look at that switch 450, locking that edge back to switch. Then getting nice speed as he sits back there into the left side double 1440 lead tail, reaching through with his lead hand and capping that tail grab, and then mirroring that on the last jump with the right side double 14 lead tail. Definitely some very difficult back-to-back jump tricks, but a few bobbles in the top section, so I'm not sure if he's going to jump above Oliver, but we'll see what happens.
Just hanging out down there in the corral area, and the score comes in at 52.75. That'll slide him into third, just behind Jesper here. But again, we're in the early go, so lots of skiing. And again, lots of skiing left to come, I should say. And it's a 10 cut out here. Just trying to make that top 10. Moving on into the final. We switch gears to Canada, coming out of Calgary.
Let's go, Mark.
Bringing in Mark Hendrickson here for his first of 2. Did we get that stat you were looking for yesterday on how the Flames are doing?
No, I didn't. I thought you were going to do that.
I got all wrapped up in that whole Urban Meyer thing yesterday. I got sidetracked.
That'll happen.
In between runs 1 and 2, I'll get there.
I'm hoping Mark's coach doesn't kick him before his runs, but we'll see. You can go into switch left 270 on, continuing 2 out. I'm not sure if kicking the kicker is necessarily the best thing. He's probably got the strongest leg if he wanted to kick back.
Well, what we learned last night and into this morning is if you kick your players, that's how you get the boot.
Yeah. Oh, good. Very good. And then wrapping things up there with the double cork 12 mute. Nice run top to bottom from Mark. Got a little distracted there with Jaguars talk.
Taking it back up to the top here. Let's take a look at some replays.
There's a look at that
Hendrickson's run.
Backside 360 switch up, nice and clean through the end of that box, continuing 2 out. And then making his way into the second rail feature. Clean top to bottom, lacing the rails, and then also lacing the jumps. This is definitely going to threaten that top spot. Here's a look at that Toyota 2 for the first jump feature. The double landing switch there, nice and clean and keeping speed into jump number 2 with that switch double 9. Nice Japan grab right behind his leg, and then into the bottom jump, the left side double mute there, guitar. Haven't seen that grab in a long time, Jimmy. That's a throwback.
All right, what do you think? Play the score game here.
No, I think it's going to jump up pretty close to the top.
69 flat. That'll put him in second. So Oliver's still hanging on to that top
69.
spot as of right now, but 73.75, a 69 and a 59 flat. Your top 3 score. Look at that little snow branding going on out here, just in case you forgot where you were, what you were watching. It's good to be back out here at
Still
Copper.
some fresh snow out there at Copper to be had.
It's been almost 2 years since we've been out here, and we are happy to be back. Right now, we're happy to bring you Park City, Utah's Peter H., 21 years old. Getting the all clear from the sports and comp staff, and he is in.
Getting things started with the left side 450 on, continuing 4 out. Coming in switch to the second feature with the switch on K-Fed, named after Kevin Federline, one of my favorite rail tricks. And the lip side 450 on there, coming in switch to the first jump.
I thought you were going to say that K-Fed was one of your favorite people.
Well, I mean, I don't know him personally, but
It's okay.
he didn't seem like too bad of a guy.
You do you.
Free Britney. There's that double cork forward there, a little double bio or double misty. And then wrapping things up with the double cork, holding mute, landing switch there at the last jump. So nice run there for Peter.
Well, consistency's been the name of the game for the most part for our first 6 competitors here.
Upping the ante a little bit on some of these rail features. You see him go on with the left side 450, continuing 4 out. And then coming into the second one. Here's a look at that first jump. Under the switch double. See him go for that safety grab and have to let go a little early, landing back seat. Not quite enough speed on that one. There's a look at that double misty. Spinning and flipping forward as opposed to some of the corks that are more of a backwards rotation. And then the last jump here with the double 12. A little short on the mute grab there too.
So he's down there in the 40s with a 44.50, so that'll slide him into 5th there, just behind Cody LePlante. So we'll look to see more of him in run at number 2. Another Canadian competitor in the mix here. We got Etienne Geoffrey Gagnon. Bib number 178, just waiting to get the thumbs up.
If you were wearing the bib, would you wear it over one shoulder or 2, Jimmy? Would you do the little style shoulder?
You know, that's a good question. I'd have to go the double shoulder.
You have to, yeah. Keep it classic.
I'm old school.
Yeah.
I'm also old, so there's that.
I believe Lolo Favre was probably the first person to do that in the half pipe, and I thought it was the coolest thing at 16 years old watching him. So I always did the one shoulder.
Style is important.
It is. Tap the battle.
So here we go with Etienne Geoffrey Gagnon.
Switch 270 on, pretzel 450 out there. Coming into the second rail feature with the backside 360 switch up, locking that one in, sliding all the way through the rail. And the switch right side 270 on, continuing 270 out. Making his way into that Toyota 2 for the double flat spin kangaroo flip. Again, a throwback on that first feature. Into the switch double 10. Coming into the last jump, switch right, double misty 12. Nice run.
Wow.
Run definitely had a little bit of everything, mixing up the rotations. Rails were solid all the way through. I think that's definitely going to be up there. Here's a look back at that backside 360 switch up. You see him lock onto the rail. Judges want to see the skier slide a majority of the rail, not just tap the end of it when they're doing these bigger spin switch ups. Here's a look at that bow and arrow double flat spin or the kangaroo flip. Note to Yoon Olsen with that one. Octo grab on that switch double 10, and then coming into the last jump with the switch right side double misty. So misty meaning he's flipping forward while spinning 3.5 rotations. Getting that just barely around there, but keeping it together.
Yeah, holding on there on that last feature. What's it going to be on the score? Pete, we're into the 80s. It's an 84.25.
They loved it.
So the Canadian finds himself at the top of the leaderboard here. early on. We're just a quarter of the way through the lineup here in run at number 1 out of 2. But the party keeps moving right along from Park City, Utah. We're about to bring in Colby Stevenson here.
Colby looking like he's wearing his party jacket out here. Get things started off switch with the switch on, frontside switch up, almost a 270 switch up to 50-50 on that box. 180 out. There's a switch 450 disaster on that. To the left side 270, locking that one through. First guy to hit that down flat down. Getting things started with the nose butter 10. So only one rotation coming around with that nose butter. Into the right side double 12, locking in that mute grab. Coming in switch to the last jump with the switch double 14. Great run from Colby Stevenson. He is pumped.
Fired up about that one.
Last one.
You're saying that was close on that last one.
He barely snuck that spin around, taking that to 14.
Fuck yeah.
Heck yeah, he loved it. Here's a look at that first rail. You see him do that switch up, that 270 switch up to switch 50-50 to switch 360 out. It looks like that was a frontside 360 switch up there. He slid that transfer rail and then that down flat down. Look at him lock in, go through that last kink. Tons of speed. Great style on that one. There's that nose butter. So he's starting and initiating that spin early and actually sliding his tips off the lip and then doing the 1080. So great run top to bottom from one of our favorites here with Colby Stevenson. That switch double 1440. 4 full rotations, just sneaking that one in.
Yeah.
Heck yeah, that was close.
I like that, covering for him there.
It's my boy. Nice run though, but this is definitely going to jump up, probably take over that top spot. Put Colby in a hopefully a safe position, making him into finals.
Another look at it at real-time speed right there to give you the full appreciation of it. And he's still pretty pumped, and almost into the 90s, an 89.25. And you call that we have another lead change here. So Colby Stevenson finds himself in the top spot. Taking a look at our current standings here, we are only 8 competitors deep so far. Remember, it is a 10 cut moving into that final, but we've seen a lead change from our last 2 competitors here. And Colby Stevenson now finds himself knocking on the door of the 90s, that 89.25. Coming up next, all the way from France, we have Antoine Adelise coming off of a 3rd place finish at the men's ski big air event. Just down the road, Steamboat.
Antoine getting things started here. Switch right 270 on, pretzel 450 off, so locking that edge, spinning the opposite direction than what he spun on, hence the pretzel name. Continuing 2 out on that one. The left side 270 on, pretzel 270 out, locking the edge. So a little more technical in the rails, not taking as much speed through there. There's a look at that left side double. Looks like he wanted to go 12, but ended up landing 10 and trying to wash that around, so not quite enough speed there for Antoine. We'll look to run number 2 to improve on that one. He's got a huge bag of tricks.
Yeah, so as he makes his way into the corral here, we'll take a look at what happened there. He's going to have to park it and wait quite a while to get that second run.
There's a look here, just not quite sneaking this one around, landing almost 11 on that one, not quite to 12, and unfortunately landing sideways when you don't mean to isn't a good thing.
Tried to force that one around though.
Hey guys. Yeah, Matt.
This is Mac forehand from Winhall, Vermont, taking his first of 2.
Mac currently sitting in that 2nd position for the points to get on that U.S. Olympic team. So he's looking to make finals and hopefully get some more points to secure his position to go to China.
Yeah, that is looming on the horizon. We are just a month and a half, 2 months out from Beijing Winter Olympics.
Mac nice and clean through the rails, coming into that first jump feature with the right side double cork 12, double Japan. Coming in switch to jump number 2. The switch left double 12, but no, just not quite enough. Checking his hip there, but still going. Left side double 12 and keeping it together, somehow holding on.
I thought he was going to end up dumping that one over, so good save right there. But again, he too is going to have to shake this one off and look to that second round. So we'll get you some replays here in a moment. But in the meantime, there's a lot going on out here at Copper Mountain. Taking a look now, this is going on live. This is over in the pipe. This is women's snowboard pipe qualifiers going on. That weather we talked about yesterday, Pete, kind of threw a little bit of a curveball into our schedule, so we actually ended up having to tweak the schedule a little bit. So the ladies of snowboard pipe are over there trying to make their bid to get into the finals.
Nice looking run all the way through. Nice and smooth there from Chloe. Love that switch method. One of my favorites.
So there's a lot going on. It's a lot of moving parts here, Pete. We're moving and shaking out here at Copper
Moving
Mountain.
and shaking and hooking the big ones, Jimmy.
Chloe Kim just hanging out down there, doing some social media stuff, waiting for her scores to kick in. Yeah, I think we have men's and women's snowboard pipe qualifiers going on out here today, if I'm not mistaken. So it is a packed schedule out here today. Oh, there you go. Chloe Kim's in second place right now in the qualifiers, if you're keeping tabs with the 75.75.
Nice smooth run. They loved it.
So maybe we'll get some more little sneak peeks over there.
I like it.
Throughout the afternoon.
I'll try to call a run. We'll see what happens.
I just called it the afternoon. It's still morning here.
Gotta practice.
Maybe the afternoon, depending on where you're watching. Yeah, boy. So here we go from New Zealand, Finn Ballou.
Finn sneaking into that last spot, getting in here today. One of my favorite skiers to watch. Do a little front side 450 off, and then the flat spin off the side of the rail. So a fun, unique line through that top rail feature, getting an extra hit in there. The front side switch up to backslide to switch. Backslide meaning he's sliding on just one ski. Much harder to balance. Coming into that first jump feature with the right side double 10. Big amplitude on that one. Looks like he's not having trouble with speed so far. There's the double 12, getting that one around the switch. Coming in switch to the last jump with the switch double 10. Nice clean run from Finn, the Kiwi.
Puts it down there to cap that run. Woo! Just making, as you mentioned earlier, just making an comp this morning. He was an add-on.
So look back at that switch right 270 on, continuing to look back at the rail. Tons of style, very clean, effortless, and good amplitude on this first jump. A lot of the guys have been struggling with speed there, and he went pretty big off of that one on that Toyota twofer. Look at that last jump, locking that grab. Nice clean landing, legs together, effortless.
So just to recap, Colby Stevenson's the mark to beat right now with an 89.25, or not to beat, this is just qualifying to get into the finals, but he is the high point as of right now. And again, the top 10 move on into that final as we await the numbers here for Finn. We got Ryan Stevenson and then James Woods on deck, and then we're at the halfway point of round number 1 here.
This run is definitely one of those ones that's going to be bumped up in one of those top spots. So they're breaking down the run. They're comparing it to some of these other guys who've already gone, deciding where that score is going to rank him and place him to get him into finals.
So there you go, a 76.75. So that'll slide him into third place. So nestled in there between Etienne Geoffrey Gagnon and Oliver Magnussen. So there's your top 8 as of right now. Now we're going to see some of those lower scores drop out as we move through this round and into round number 2. But the big story here, out of these 26 individuals, only 10 of them get to go into the final. Moving back up top to our next competitor here, representing the USA, we welcome in Ryan Stevenson.
Ryan sounds like he's wrapping his whatever's in his ears as he gets dropping there. Switch right 270 on, continuing 4 out. Into the switch left 270 on, backside switch up, excuse me. Into the left side 450 on, so nice and clean through the rails. Coming in switch to that first jump. The switch right, double 9, just sneaking that one around. Coming into jump number 2 with the left side double 12, reaching back, capping that tail grab. Coming in switch to the last jump. With the switch left, double 9, little wobble there, nice and clean.
G-Mom, baby.
What did he say?
G-Mom, baby.
Heck yeah.
Little helmet branding right there, little shout out.
Look back at those rail features. There's that left side 450 on, just getting the end of the rail. Judges like to see as much of that rail slid as possible. There's a look at that first switch right double, just sneaking that one through. Maybe not be as much difficulty as some of these other guys, but very clean all the way through his run. It's probably going to put him up in that top 10 for now, but I don't know if he's going to stay up there.
So that'll put him in 6th right there with a 62.75, just in between Mark Hendrickson there and Jesper.
I now know who drank all my coffee this morning.
Is that why there was none in the production office?
He is pumped.
He's on his 3rd kickstart for the morning out here.
More than likely.
Shotgunning a couple of those things.
Mountain Dews.
Here we go. Representing Sheffield, UK, this is 29-year-old James Woods.
Great to see Woodsy out here also taking that unique line to the rodeo off the side of that rail feature, getting an extra couple hits in there, coming into that transfer, backside 360 switch up, getting a little caught up and almost dropping his pole, keeping it together. The switch right 270 on, nice and clean. Woodsy, tons of style. The switch right 999, locking down that safety grab. The jump number 2 with the left side double cork 10. Tons of speed here, so he's making it through.
With one more hit to go.
The right side double 12, very clean. Again, maybe not as high of difficulty as some of the runs we've seen at the top, but clean top to bottom, something he can build off of.
Sorry, I didn't mean it.
Did you hear him say right there, I didn't mean it, so we'll have to take a look.
You can see this first
Which
rail
part he's
feature,
referring to.
sliding that into that wall ride and then coming over to the side and doing that rodeo off the side. Nice and clean, almost dropping his pole on that second rail feature. And then coming into the jump number 2 with the left side double cork 1080. And here's another one, another look. You see him locking that safety grab right under his boot. Here's a look at that final jump with the right side double. Getting that mute grab, sliding his hand all the way out to the tip of the ski. Nice clean landing from Woodsy. Great to see him out here.
Well, that 10 cut right now is a 44.50, so that's good enough to get James in 9th for right now. But you know, as we go through this, those 40s aren't going to hold up. Probably going to see those 50s go away as well, but James, you're in for now. So we're officially at the halfway point of the run order here. We welcome in Park City, Utah's Alex Hall.
Hey, Hall dropping in, always very creative on these rail features, taking different lines. Getting things started with the switch 270 on there. Into the backside 360 switch up. Alex known for some big spin tricks on the jumps as well, making his way through the rails. So getting going here on the Toyota Twofer with the switch right 999, locking down the safety grab there. Into the left side double 12 with the seatbelt Japan, coming in switch to the last jump with the switch double 14, just sneaking that one through. Barely getting that one around, but still landing clean.
Not even waiting around for the react, just right back over there waiting for the ride to get back up top.
There's another look back up at the rails there, the backside 360 switch up. And then into that first jump, you see him locking that safety grab just on the side of his boot. Judges want to see his hand underneath the ski, actually grabbing the ski, not just his boot on that one. Seatbelt Japan, one of the more difficult grabs we've seen so far today. The switch 14 there, locking that one down, but a few bobbles mixing through. He's going to have a few things he's going to want to improve on run number 2, but getting one in the books, hopefully a score that's going to jump him up into that top 10 to get into finals for those all-important Olympic qualifying points.
DC out there getting some info, talking it over with the boys. Our top 2 scores are in the 80s. We got an 89.25 and an 84.25. Then you get a couple scores in the 70s. What's it going to be here for Mr. Hall? He's in the 80s, so now our top 3 scores are in the 80s. An 82.50, which will put him into 3rd, so now that puts James Woods on that bubble spot for now, who we just saw with that 49.50 prior to Mr. Hall's first outing. So there you go. We're kind of knocking on the door of the 90s there with Colby Stevenson. But we still have a lot of skiing left to come here in the men's slopestyle qualifier. From Switzerland, this is Fabian Busch.
Fabian getting things going, known for big spins on the jumps. See what he has for us in the rails here. Little backside switch up into the wall ride. Going for the little cork 450 off the side of that one. Coming in, switch to the second feature. Switch on, frontside switch up the backslide. Continuing 2 out. The 270 on pretzel 2. Nice and clean through the rails. Some technical difficulty in there as well. The right side double 10, locking down the mute grab. Coming into jump number 2 with the left side double 12 tail. Coming in, switch to the last jump with the switch right double Misty 12. Nice run. Wow. Great variety top to bottom through the rails on the jumps. Different grabs. It was a good one to watch.
We go back up top and take another look.
Fabian also opting for this different line, getting 2 hits in on that first feature. Going into that little flip off. And then here's a look at the right side 270 on, locking that front edge, getting himself to spin back in the opposite direction to do the pretzel 270 out. And then coming into that Toyota twofer with the right side double 10 mute. Jump number 2 with the left side double 12. So both ways doubles. And then coming in, switch to this last jump with the switch double Misty. You see him reach down, get that safety grab, holding it all the way through the rotation, and then very clean on the landing. This is going to be a good score.
He's going to challenge for that, one of those top 2 spots, and it is 86.75. Puts him in second place. He didn't even get a chance to react to that right there. So that'll put Fabian in the number 2 spot. So that bumps James Woods out. So Cody LaPlante now your bubble. So you need a 52.75 or better if you're jumping into that top 10 here in the opening round. Aerial shot right there of the slopestyle start structure. Another Canadian in the mix out of Oakville, Ontario. We bring in Evan McEachran.
Evan getting things started with a nice switch on to K-Fed on that transfer rail. Did the backside 360 switch up the switch. Very clean. Evan known for being a very technical rail skier with lots of spins. Switch tails over 270, continuing 2 there. To the left side, double 10. Looked like he was reaching down for the meter grab on that one. To the right side, double 12. Sneaking those tails around, coming in switch to this last jump. With the switch left, double 12. It's a nice run from Evan. Evan, one of these guys who always does that meter grab, named after Ian Meter, one of the judges. The backside 360 switch up there. And here's a look at that meter grab. So getting that mute and then reaching with his other hand around. Named after Ian Meter, but I don't think Ian Meter's ever done it.
How does that work?
He just needed a legacy in skiing, and he has some friends in high places, so. And I happen to be one of those friends. The right side double 12 on that one, then coming in, switch to that last jump with the switch double 12. See him reach through, just missed that tail grab, but sneaking that Japan around, changing grabs on that one. See what the judges end up doing with it.
Yeah, again, the bubble spot right now with top 10 transferring on. You've got Cody LaPlante sitting in that number 10 position with a 52.75. Colby Stevenson still the high mark there with that 89.25. You got Connor Ralph, Hunter Henderson, and James Consler all on deck here. Our next 3 competitors. Day 2 of 5 out here. 2-2 Copper Mountain 2021. A little bit of a crowd brewing down there. Got some people hanging out the bottom course. So Evan is going to get in to the top 10. He'll slide into 5th there, knocking on the door of the 80s. He has a 79.50, so just a half a point shy of the 80s. So that bumps Cody out. So now Jesper, our first skier that we saw here in this comp, he is your bubble. So now it's a 59 or better if you're hoping to crack into that top 10 as we bring in Helena Montana's Connor Ralph.
Ralphie, one of these rookies. Huge bag of tricks, lots of style. Great to see him out here. Get things started with the backside 360 switch up. It's hard to see if he got the rail on that one. And the switch 450 onto that. So making his way into that jump section. Connor getting things going with the right side double 12. Nice and clean. Good grab all the way through. Into the switch left double 12. So back-to-back dub 12s. What's he got for us on the bottom here? Oh, just slipping out a little bit, but somehow getting that one around.
Just loses an edge at the bottom of that right there. That was a heck of a save, though. Connor Ralph.
I have no idea how he got that around. It looked like he lost his edge going up the lip of the jump and somehow managed to still... Yeah, exactly. He just fell backwards off the lip of the jump and somehow still managed to do a double. That is some unbelievable air awareness to be able to bring that back to your feet. I would be in the parking lot on my back.
See right there, just saving it and then catches the edge at the bottom. I mean, that could have been a lot worse right there.
Yeah. It's unfortunate, though. The rest of that run was shaping up really nice, so he'll have to look to run number 2.
Yeah, you could see his reaction as he skied through the corral there, over there talking it over with DC right now. So tough break there. That's going to put him down in the mid-20s, slide him all the way down to 15th here.
I think he was just telling DC he was sitting back to get speed and then tried to stand up too late and almost G'd out and hit his back off the lip there.
We'll have to see if he can put that together and make it happen, make a charge for that top 10 and run number 2. Coming your way right now via the state of New Hampshire. This is Hunter Henderson.
Hunter getting things started, also going for that backside 360 switch up, continuing 4 out. Very popular trick so far. The switch right 270, continuing 4, so mixing things up, kind of taking a different line for these rails. Switch left 270, pretzel 270, spinning off the opposite direction. The switch double 12 on the first jump. Just a little backseat on that one, but still making his way through. Oh, and just going down on the double 12. Not quite enough air on that one. It looks to be okay, though.
Yeah, losing both the shoes on that one, but springs right back up, so not going to get dinged up on that one.
That backseat landing on that first jump, I think, just threw him off slightly where he didn't have enough speed into the second jump. And ended up catching the knuckle. Looks like he's all right.
Yeah, he sprung right up from that one, now making the hike back up to go retrieve those skis there. So Jesper's going to hang on to that number 10 spot. Now let's take another look, Pete.
Here he comes into that second jump feature. Wrapping around, maybe even trying to go all the way to 14, but just coming up short and catching the knuckle, losing both his shoes.
It's a little bit of a bounce there, too. It's good to see him spring right back up from that. So he, too, going to have to get it done in that second round. Bib number 164 here up in the start structure. Out of Park City, Utah, 18 years old, bringing in James Consler.
Definitely a lot of youth in this contest. A bunch of younger guys making some of their first appearances here at the Dew Tour.
Get a bigger picture idea of what this slopestyle course looks like out here at Copper Mountain. See all the different features there. You just joined us here at dewtour.com. We start off the top of the course. You got 3 different sections with some rails and some jibs, and then you start off with a 3-jump section. The first jump, you've got 2 options, one on either side with a Toyota Tundra parked precariously in the middle of all that, and then you've got 2 jumps after that. 2 runs per athlete here. It's the best run that counts out here, working off of a 100-point scale. We've still got 7 skiers left to go here in the end of round number 1. We're going to take a quick little break. Looking at some highlights here of your current leader. Colby Stevenson sitting in that top spot with an 89.25. So we'll have the conclusion of round 1 when we come back to Dew Tour Copper Mountain.
K-fed, front side switch up, continuing 2 out. Jump number 1 with that Toyota twofer. There's that safety grab, locking that one in. They call it the safety grab because it is the easiest grab to do right under your boot. But then mixing up the grabs as he went through. Double on the bottom there, landing switch nice and clean.
Let's see what the judges think here. Again, another great aerial shot right there. Beautiful day out here at Copper Mountain. Completely different from what we were enduring out here yesterday. So not enough to get him. For now. Again, Colby Stevenson, Fabian Bush, and Etienne Geoffrey Gagnon. And now Alex Hall. We've got your top 4 scores. Your 2 runs count out here today at Copper Mountain. Coming your way right now out of Norway.
Seb's one of these guys to definitely watch on the rails. Very creative rail skier, lots of technical tricks. Always one of my favorites for Team Norway.
Way down there now.
Just eyeing it up there. Waiting for the all clear here from Sports and Comp. There's a beautiful shot right there of the Toyota twofer. Also could be called the Tundra takeoff, Pete. What do you think about that one? It's a good looking Tundra right there.
Tundra takeoffs.
Tundra takeoff.
There are 2.
That's right.
There's one on either side.
Yeah. It's a good looking truck right there. I might have to upgrade. I think makes my Tacoma look a little shabby.
See if you could just drive that thing home Sunday instead of catching your flight.
There you get, it's not that far of a drive back to Texas.
No. Just a break-in period.
Yeah, you won't necessarily need the 4-wheel drive portion of that where I live. However, the dirt bike would look pretty good in the back of that thing.
It would.
My neighbors would be jealous.
You'd want to get the regular bed, not the short bed.
It's currently what I'm rocking now on the Tacoma.
That's embarrassing.
It was a little rough on that last move. Okay. Not able to haul as much stuff around in the Tacoma. I do have the bed extender though, so there's that.
That's cute.
Yeah. Just waiting for the all clear here for Sebastian Scher, one of our last 7 skiers here to round out run number 1 out of 2 here at the men's ski slopestyle qualifier. Jesper Chatter still sitting in that number 10 spot with a 59 flat. Your current leader, Colby Stevenson, with an 89.25. So there's the knuckles. That tells me we're getting underway here, and he's got the all clear. So here we go. The man from Norway taking his first of 2.
Get things going. Check out this cool angle there at the top from that cable cam. The switch 270 on. Continuing 8 off of that one. The left side 450 on it. I might have been mistaken on that, but I have to take another look. The right side 2, continuing switch up, continuing 2 out. So dancing all over those rails. I knew he was going to catch me off guard on that first jump or first rail feature with that big spin. The right side double 10, wrapping that around the 12, landing switch, coming in switch to the last jump with the switch double. Oh, just coming up a little bit short and washing out, unfortunately.
Just on that last hit there, so unfortunate.
Yeah. He's hyped, throwing up gang signs. Norwegian gangs are probably pretty tough over there. I've been to Oslo, and there's some rough characters.
The rough streets of Oslo?
Rough streets of Oslo. Great McDonald's over there in Norway. There's a look, just sneaking that one around, and that may have been enough to make it so he didn't have enough speed on that last jump. He landed a little sideways on jump number 2, and then just coming up short.
Oh yeah, stabbing the knuckle there. And that's going to be the toss-away run there. It's got him down in 16th with a 27.75. So shake that one off. You got a bit to go to your next run, so looking to get it done in round number 2. 6 skiers left to go here before we go back up to the top of the order. So again, Jesper's been hanging tough with that 59 flat in that 10 spot. Another lovely shot looking up mountain here on the slopestyle course out here at Copper Mountain. So we're going to take a little beat, and we're going to peek back over there at the Superpipe, see what's going on in the women's snowboard pipe qualifiers. Chloe Kim back in for her second run here, Pete. And we're getting word that she's currently sitting in 4th place as of right now.
It's a nice switch method. Looks like she's upping the ante here. I would attempt to call these tricks, but I really don't want to butcher them. I am a skier.
Well, Brad's sitting right there. You can get Brad to jump in here, put the headset. So we're just getting word that she has just bumped into the lead with that run right there. She had a 75.75 the last time we had a look in. Now she pops into the 90s with a 91.25. I said she was 4th free run, so there she is. She pops to the top spot right there. So
upping the ante.
Things are moving and shaking over there in the Superpipe, Pete.
Backside 3 to switch method there, calling some snowboard tricks.
Back over here on the slopestyle course, though, we have a high score of 89.25, and that's Colby Stevenson representing that spot as of right now. We keep talking about that bubble, that 10 cut. Jesper Chatter still sitting there at a 59 flat, and that has held up so far. We have 6 competitors left to go in the run order here before we get into that second final round. And then after the schedule changes for the women's ski slopestyle event, no qualifier. We're just running hot with a big final, 16 competitors there. We get to that final later on in the weekend. Looking back up top, we bring in Troy Pottensack.
Troy looking to get things started up here on the top rail section, opting for that wall ride feature. The switch 270 on. Oh, getting a little caught up there.
Yikes.
But keeping it together, not going down. Not exactly what he wanted, though. There's the backside 360 switch up, continuing to coming into the next rail. The 270 on, locking that pretzel. Love to see it. You know, Tom Wallish himself. The right side double, sneaking his tips around. Not quite enough speed on that one. The left side cork 9. Coming in, switch to the last jump. The switch double mid-steer, double bio 12. So a few bobbles in there. He'll look to run number 2 to improve on those, but I don't think that's going to threaten our top 10 right now.
It's a little scary coming off that wall ride feature at the top.
Yeah, that is not a small drop coming off that wall. They're going all the way up to the top. Here's another look at it. The switch 270 on. It looks like he just gets a little caught up, maybe a little sticky up there. Just comes off forward. I know he probably wanted more than that, though. There's that right side 270 on. You see him lock that front edge, pretzeling, spinning back the other direction. The 2 pretzel 2. Here's a look at that left side 9. A little safety grab. Not exactly what he was wanting, but we'll see what he has for us in run number 2.
Yeah, mid-40s with that 45.50. That's got him in 14th. So again, Jesper is hanging on to that bubble, that final transfer spot there with that 59. So 5 left to go in the run order here. This is Kieran Fagan.
Kieran dropping in. Another one of these guys trying to get those Olympic qualifying points, see if he can make that Olympic team for the U.S. Going to switch 270 on, continuing to, sliding the whole rail on that one. Coming into the down rail with the 270 on, also opting for that pretzel 270 out. Coming off a little early on the rail, though, not quite getting the whole rail. So left side double 10, U grab. The right side double 12, sneaking his tails around. We'll see if he has enough speed for this last jump with the switch left double 9. So nice run, getting one landed and in the books.
Put it down. Let's go.
Say, putting her down.
You can see how he comes off just a little bit early, not exactly through the end of that rail. And judges have to take notice of all these little things when they're watching these runs today. They have to compare every run that we're watching. So look at that. Double at the end, just sneaking it over that knuckle. But getting a landed run in the books for him. See where that puts him.
Let's get you to walk that plank. Where do you think this slides into the mix, Pete?
Oh, he's going to probably be right around that bubble score. Somewhere around that 60 to high 50s.
So again, it's a 59 flat is what you need. Or better than a 59 flat, I should say, to get into that top 10. It's Jesper Chatter sitting in that spot for right now. That spot has held up through most of this round. So again, as we await the score here, so judges are having a conversation about that. We've talked about this a couple of times, you know, just having to survey all of the action and just the rankings, right? What's it going to be? 60.25. So Jesper gets bumped down. So you called it. That gets him right there into that bubble spot. So he is in for now. We'll have to wait and see if that will hold up. But before we get to our next skier, we're going to check back in over here in women's snowboard pipe qualifiers. Maddie Mastro trying to make it in to that cut, sitting in 11th place on the outside looking in, Pete.
What a beautiful day for half-pipe snowboarding. There's the double. So Maddie going method into the double there. That backside 5. Look at her working her way down. The front side 7 coming in switch here with the cab spin. I'm doing my best here. I'm probably butchering it, but I'm doing my best. And a great run there from Maddie. That's going to be one of those top scores for sure.
Oh, she is pumped right there. Will it be enough to get in? And a 92.75, so that puts Maddie in the top. She just overtakes Chloe Kim right there. So, wow. So big things are happening over there in the women's pipe qualifier for snowboarding.
That was awesome. Absolutely lacing that double.
So Maddie gets in. Chloe Kim, Zitong Kai, Ruki Tomita, Sina Tomita, Kuro Castellet, Karami Imai. And there you got, I believe it's a 10 cut, or is it 8?
I think it's an 8 cut.
I think,
yeah.
Yep.
I think so the top 8 make it in. And all those U.S. women trying to get those points to make their way to Beijing.
What a run for Maddie right there. Put her in that top spot trying to get into the final. We have a couple skiers left to go here in our run order for round number 1 out of 2. This is Javier Liso.
Javier getting things started. Switch 270 on, pretzeling out, spinning the opposite direction with the 450. The backside 360 switch up to backslide. Just getting a little tap there at the end of the rail. What a great shot from the top here with the cable cam. So cool to get a big perspective of how large this course actually is. The right side double 12 on the Toyota Twofer. Coming in switch. The switch double Misty. Little back seat on that one, but keeping it together. Let's see what he's got for us on the last jump. The left side double 12. Nice run out here for Javier. Putting it down. Here's a look back up at the rails. There's that backside 360 switch up. You see him land on just one ski there. Backslide. Coming in switch to that next feature. So look at that switch 270 on. And then continuing that spin with the 270 out. Nice and clean through the rails for him. And here's a look at that double Misty. So switch double Misty 12. Just sneaking that one around. But making his way through a few bobbles. Maybe not the perfect landings he was looking for, but definitely a landed run that he could improve on that second run. That one's going to be close.
Well, your bubble spot now is a 60.25. We saw Kieran Fagan take over that spot and bump Jesper Chatter out as of now. Remember, it's round 1. We still have round 2 to go. Everyone's going to get a second crack at it here. It is the better of your 2 runs that count out here at the men's ski slopestyle qualifier. So it's that fun moment where you get to stand there in the corral and just wait for it, wait for your score to pop up.
When I just know Ian Meter's sitting in there just arguing with all the judges, just being upset.
57.25, so he's knocking on the door, but he's going to have to settle for 12th place for right now. As we look back up top to Guelph, Ontario, Max Moffitt.
See Sandy Beauville up there, the coach for Max Moffitt. I don't know, Sandy might be one of those guys who would kick his athletes. I'll have to talk to him about that, but he might be a kicker.
You're just he's going to run with that all day.
Yeah, he is. I can't not. Just one of the most interesting storylines of the season in the NFL.
Would you say that would go down as urban legend?
Oh, that was good.
That was a reach.
That was good. No, I don't know. That was within reach.
Mike Atkinson, can we get a ruling on that?
Oh, he would love it. I don't think Mike's a big NFL guy, though, being Canadian.
He always tries to watch whenever he comes to Winter Dew Tour. I get him into it.
He has no idea what's going on. It's not hockey. Oh, coming up short on that last one. Looks like Max got a little back seat on that second jump. Not having enough speed. And not happy with that run, but he'll look to run number 2. He's definitely one of these guys who will be up in the mix if he lands his run clean. But here's a look back at that Tundra takeoff. Landing a little bit back seat. You see him carve into that jump. So a lot of the guys take off flat base. They go straight into the jump. Max almost said uh-oh in midair on that one, and just came up a little bit short. You see him, he spots right there. He knows he's going to land right on that knuckle, and I can tell you these knuckles are firm out here right now. So that did not feel good at all.
So checks in with a 33.5. That'll put him in 18th. So that bubble spot stays safe for right now. Kieran Fagan sitting in that 10 spot. Top 10 transfer on 60.25. You need better than that if you're cracking into the top 10 here. Charlie Noza up next out of South Londonderry, Vermont.
Noza get things started, going to the opposite side. Switch 270 on backslide, holding it all the way through, continuing 2 out. Lots of style on that one. There's the frontside switch up. Coming in, switch to the third one with the blender switch 450 on. So looking over the wrong shoulder, spinning back over the other way. There's that Bio 900. Looks like he's reaching back for stalefish, maybe just an uncrossed blunt grab. Oh, a little short on jump number 2. Looks like he's going to try to go for 3 here. See if he has the speed. The double on the right. So just having a few issues with speed. Not exactly what he was going for. But making his way, getting a landed run in the books. Here's a look back at that first rail feature. You see him land on just one ski, hold it together, and get that continuing 270 out. And then there's the blender. So he's looking over the wrong shoulder, then goes completely blind and spins a switch 450 on, locking that one on and going back to forward. So an interesting take on that. Jesper's another one of those guys who does the blender. That is absolutely terrifying. I don't think I would ever do that. Looks like he's coming around here. Just landed a little back seat, scrubbed a little speed, and didn't have quite enough, but barely made it over that knuckle. Missed the grab on that one, so it didn't get it exactly how he wanted. But getting a landed run in the books, looking to improve on run number 2.
You ever been to South Londonderry, Vermont?
I have not.
I've only been to the other side of the tracks, North Londonderry.
I have no idea, to be honest. When I'm in Vermont, I have no idea.
43.25, so not enough to get Charlie in there, so he'll settle for 18th for now and look to round number 2. And the last skier in the rotation here before we get into the second final runs out of Norway, this is Ferdinand Dahl.
Ferdy's one of these guys who will definitely challenge the top spots. Very creative lines through the course, creative rotations, lots of style, and one of everyone's favorite skiers. There's the 450 on, locking that out to forward. Backslide all the way through that down rail, continuing 2 out. It's not as big of a spin, but still very technically difficult. There's the right side double cork 12, nice and clean with the Japan grab. Into the switch double bio 12, and not quite getting that one around, unfortunately, and going down for Ferdy.
So that is a tough break right there to round out round number 1. So he too going to have to look to that second run to try to make his case to get into that top 10 here, Pete. But it is far from over. Everybody's going to get one more shot at it here.
Ferdy, if he lands this run, is definitely one of those guys who will be up in those top spots. Here's a look back at that first jump with the right side double cork 12, getting that Japan grab, getting the spot, bringing it around the switch, then coming into jump 2, and just not quite getting the rotation right. You can see him come around and still be a little back seat. Maybe needed a little more airtime on that one and having to go down.
Taking one more look at it here. That puts him in 23rd position.
And you can see in that slow-mo, it almost looks like he missed the grab off the takeoff. And a lot of these times when these guys are doing the double corks, if they don't have the grab, they can't actually pull into the proper rotation. And it looks like Ferdy missed that mute and just went down.
So round number 1 is in the books. Colby Stevenson ends out the round hanging on to that top spot with an 89.25. The scores in the 80s go all the way down to 4th place with Alex Hall. Then you got Evan McEachran, Finn Malou. However, the 10 cut is the story. We saw Kieran Fagan bump into that number 10 spot with a 60.25, so you need to get into the low 60s or better now if you're going to crack into that top 10. However, it is far from over. We're getting ready to go back up to the top of the order here and do it all over again. It's best run that counts out here at the men's Ski Slopestyle Qualifier here for the Dew Tour Copper Mountain. And, well, there's some big points up for grabs. All these USA competitors trying to earn their spot, trying to getting the right to be on the Olympic team.
Jesper just on the outside looking in right now. Nice switch up there, continuing spin out. He's looking to improve on that first run. Frontside 360 switch up and just getting caught up on that one.
I was just about to say he's just one spot out, but then that happens.
Yeah, and unfortunately with how well everyone's skiing out here today, one bobble like that is just going to take you out of contention to make it into that top 10. It is a tough field and a really harsh cut going from 26 to 10 guys. But just not having it today for Jesper. But always great having him out here. One of my favorite skiers to watch. You never know what he's going to be doing.
Yeah, he was hanging tough for most of that first round with that 59 flat. Just got bumped one spot down, and then that early slip up here, that's going to put this run in the books here. And he is out of here. So the 60.25 is going to hold up for now. So one skier down. 25 left to go here in the second final round at the men's ski slopestyle qualifier out here. Taking a look at 27-year-old Nick Gepper. Nick had a rough go there that first go around. He's down there at the bottom of the pack. He's actually in last place as of right now.
Unfortunately, nobody style checked Nick at the beginning of this run. He has one pant leg rolled up. But, I mean, maybe that is what he's going for these days. Switch on, frontside switch up, pretzel 270 out. Pretty sure that was also a gang thing at some point, Jimmy.
What, the one pant leg rolled up?
Yeah, but it looks like it may have fixed itself. So getting your pants right is only half the battle out here. The switch bio on that one, going into jump number 2 with the right side double, locking down that mute grab, coming into jump 3, see what Nick has for us. Nice big left side double with the lead tail. So that is definitely going to contend to be in that top 10. A huge improvement from his first run.
See how pumped he was at the end of that run right there.
Love seeing Nick pump.
Pant leg correction and all. Puts one down here in the second and final round.
Maybe he just had it up because that could have been what caught up on the first run. Who knows? But there's a look back at that switch right 9.
Maybe DC will find out for us.
DC should ask him that question if the pant leg was intentional or not. But either way, it did not affect him. Making his way nice and clean through this run. There's a look at that left side double, reaching for that lead tail grab, capping that one. See him reach through, cap that tail grab. Judges love seeing you be all the way out there, and you see him pull that grab. The ski's flexing, and he loved it. Great run from Nick. Always good seeing him putting it down.
Hey, Steve. Hey, Steve.
Shout out to his roommate, Steve Stepp, at home watching. Sure has something to say about our announcing today, too.
What is it going to be for Mr. Gepper here? Again, pre-run, he was down there at the bottom of the pack, and that's an 85.25, and that puts him all the way up into the number 3 position. So nicely done here by Nick Gepper. Wow. Let's send it down to DC, who's out there in the field right now. DC, take it away.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Hanging out down here with Mr. Nick Gepper, your 2-time Olympic slopestyle medalist in the house. And Nick, nice work. You got up in there at 85.25, I believe it was there on second run. Heard you had some pant leg issue. Unfortunately, the monitor was out down here, so I didn't get to see it. But can you talk to me about that?
That must have been someone else, but these are pretty good-looking pants. I came up a little short on the rail on my first run. Yeah, I was feeling good that second run, and it's amazing what you can do when you have to.
Heck yeah, well, way to put it down. Performing well, always under pressure. And how are the conditions out there? You're saying with the fresh groom conditions on your first run, you always forget that it's a little slower with the fresh groom conditions. Did it speed up for you there on run 2?
Yeah, this morning it was kind of hard in practice because it was slow, and you're like, do I do like my B run that I can make the jumps with, or do I do an A run that I can't make the jumps with right now? So kind of had to make a decision. I had to do my B run. I was confident with the speed, and yeah, now we're here.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much, and congrats. Well done there on run number 2, brother.
Thank you, DC.
I think we might have thrown DC into the bus with that pant look
Well,
in
you
there,
know,
Pete.
it's just
Hey, look,
one of those
St. Nick's
things.
on the slopes.
Oh, man, where are the reindeer on the chairs ahead of him, or what's going on here?
I mean, they would have to be, wouldn't they?
Yeah, they might be taking the day off. That's what chairlifts are for up here at Copper. 24 of them out.
Maybe Santa's going up top to do some pipe slipping for the men's qualifiers a little bit later on. I don't know.
It's just great seeing him out here, get some recreating in before the big day.
So moving right along, Oliver Magnuson out of Sweden. He's currently in that top 10. He's sitting in that number 8 position, but wants to give himself a little bit of breathing room here.
Oliver getting things started. Switch 270 on, pretzel 450 out. Going into the switch, or excuse me, the backside 360 switch up. There's the switch 450 on. Just getting the end of the rail there, coming into the Tundra takeoff on the right side. The left double 1080. Getting that safety grab, coming into jump number 2 with the right side double 12. Nice clean grab. Good landing on that one. Coming in switch with the switch double 12. Maybe a little double wobble, almost not a double on that one, but great run top to bottom.
Well, yeah, that's 73.75 from round 1 as we take another look here in slow-mo.
There's that backside 360 switch up, nice and clean. Maybe getting a little more of the rail on this run. Judges are looking for just those little things that they can make a decision on whether it bumps up ahead of him or ahead of the runs ahead of him or not. There's that left side double cork 10, locking down that safety grab. But very clean all the way through.
You like that replay underlay music? It's good. It's very NFL Films.
Oh, good reference.
You like that? That's what it reminds me of. Kind of gets you fired up to look at some replays.
It really does. I run through a wall right now.
Stiff arm somebody and run 20 yards. So what is it going to be here? Wow, an 88.25. So that jumps him up from 8th all the way into 2nd place. So a huge run for the Swede here. Nicely done.
They loved it. Big shout out to the judges, the most unsung heroes out here. They don't get enough recognition because everyone hates them.
They're just sequestered in a small shack at the bottom of the mountain.
That's where they deserve to be. We'll keep them there.
Got a small barrel fire going over there to keep them warm as they're huddled together.
Dan Allen, I'm sure, feeding the fire. Dan and Justin Allen actually have a hockey game tonight in Breck, the championship of the Beer League. Yep.
Well, right now on course, we've got Truckee, California's Cody LaPlante.
Oh, Cody also just getting a little caught up on that wall ride, but still keeping it together, coming into the second rail feature with the switch 270 on, continuing swap, coming in, switch to the third one, switch 450 on it. Oh, just going down, catching some, looks like some loose snow maybe on the side of the rail, not quite getting it all the way on there. So unfortunately, we will not be able to see Cody in finals.
So tough break right there for Cody LaPlante. We got Mark Henderson coming up on deck. Taking a look at your standings here. How about that run out of Oliver Magnuson there? He was in 8th place with that 73.75. I talked about some breathing room, and he got just that. He bumped up all the way into that number 2 position. So the bubble there, that number 10 spot, the 62.75. Ryan Stevenson. Still lots of skiing left to go here. We've only seen our first 4 competitors on the start list, so 4 down, 22 more to go out here in this men's ski slopestyle qualifier out here for day 2 of 5 of the Dew Tour Copper Mountain 2021.
He's going to do some with him without the rig video.
Love that aerial shot. Beautiful day out here at Copper. I cannot wait to go make some turns myself, Jimmy.
I know, we're done after this. We got an early day today, so
sounds like a good day for me to
possibly
get out
have a
there.
hockey game to go watch a little bit later on as well if you play your
will be
cards
happening.
right.
Yep.
Okay, Mark Henderson on course.
Backside 360 switch up to the top of that wall ride, continuing 270 out, coming into the second feature with the 450 on, pretzeling that 270 out, nice and clean. The switch 270 on, continuing to, so very clean through the rails. Look for an improvement here in the jumps as well. The right side double 12, going big on that one, carrying speed down that landing into the switch left double 9. See if he has enough here on the last jump with the left side double 12, huge with the guitar grab. So it looked like speed was not an issue at all for him this time.
Well, he's another one of those guys that's looking for the breathing room there. He's in the cut for now, but when you're sitting on 9th with a lot of guys still to go, he'd love to do what Oliver did and bump up a couple of spots here.
So look back at the rails. There's the switch 270 on, continuing to. So keeping it clean. Maybe not the most technical rails we've seen so far, but very clean through them. And then the right side double. Look at him reach down there, get that double Japan grab, both hands on there, and then coming in, switch to the next one. There's another look at that Toyota Tuber. Nice switch landing, taking it far down that landing into the switch double 9. And then carrying a lot of speed in the last one. You look at him go both hands on that mute grab, also known as the guitar grab. And then coming around switch. Nice amplitude, taking that down the landing, and the judges are going to take that into account. We'll see where that ends up putting it.
I believe he had a 69 flat for his first run score, and as I said, that had him in that 9th place position.
I can't see it.
So an 81 flat, so that'll bump him up into 7th right there. So I talked about breathing room, and he's giving himself just that. So bumps it up 2 spots right there. There's your top 8 right now, looking at the current standings. And again, that 10 spot right now is Ryan Stevenson. So 62.75, that's the benchmark. You need better than that if you're going to jump up into this top 10. We take you back up to the top of the slopestyle course out of Park City, Utah. 21-year-old Peter Raich ready to take his second and final attempt here.
Peter dropping in, strongest name in the competition, that's for sure. Get things going with the 450 on, catching his tip on the front, but keeping it together. 450 continuing for the switch on to the K-Fed, coming off maybe a little early on that rail, and the right side 450 on, but making his way down to the Tundra takeoff here with the switch right, double 9, just sneaking his tips through. We'll see if he has enough speed for jump number 2. Going double Misty 10, so throwing that rotation forward, helping him get over that jump, and finishing with that 1260 to the right. Nice run, a few little bobbles here and there. I'm not sure if it's gonna bump up into that top 10. I'm not sure if it'll improve on his first run. That left side 450 on, continuing 4 out, doing a whole 900 there on that first feature. There's that right side 450. You see him just tap that, not get a whole lot of rail there.
Now he's going to stick with that first run score, and it's going to leave him in 18th on the day. So Ryan Stevenson will hang on for now with that 62.75. Moving right along, representing Canada, we welcome back in Etienne Geoffrey Gagnon.
Get things started, switch, going into that first rail feature, switch 270 on, locking it to forward, maybe wanted more on that one. Coming into the next one with the backside 360 switch up, nice and clean, locking through the end of that rail. The switch right 270 on, pretzel 2, so spinning both directions on the top rail features, coming in, switch to the first jump, switch double, oh, just sneaking that around. Into jump number 2 with the nice straight air. Unfortunately, not what he's wanting. A little off on that first jump. Getting those straight airs in. So he's going to have to stick with that first run score of an 84.25.
Yeah, he's in that number 5 spot for now.
A lot of heavy hitters still coming up, though.
We'll see if that 84.25 holds up. Again, it's a 10 cut, just trying to earn your way into the finals for now. Coming up next, your current leader with an 89.25. Welcome back in, Colby Stevenson.
At this point, Colby taking this. It's just another training run, getting ready for finals, sitting in that first place position. The front side 270 switch up, switch 50-50, 360 out. The switch on, front side 360 switch up, getting that one to forward. And the left side disaster 270 on. Love the way he's the only guy hitting that rail. Judges take notice of different lines. There's the left side nose butter 10, getting that lead tail grab. The right side double 12, just sneaking his tails around. See if he has enough here. Little zero spin on the bottom, so having a little bit of an issue. But taking this as a training run and currently sitting pretty safe.
Man, it's slow out there, dude.
And you can hear him right there saying it's slow.
Yeah,
DC gave us a report on that earlier in the show, and I mean, you can see it. Quite a few people have had troubles with it.
Here's a look at that zero spin, and ode to Jossie Wells. Getting a little shifty in there. It's one of the only tricks I could do, Jimmy.
I think you got a little bit more in the bag than that.
Yeah, well, that's one of the only tricks I like doing.
So he will stick with that first run, as you called it earlier, the party jacket. It's
I love it.
He's partying in first place right now.
Yeah, I kind of want one.
Looking to be safe to get into those finals there. Antoine Adelise coming your way next.
Antoine dropping in. One of the only skiers out here today without poles.
He's down there at the bottom of the pack now. He's in that number 26 position.
Having an issue on his first run. Get things going with the switch 270 pretzel 4. There's the 450 on, continuing 2 out. Cleaning it up. Left side 270 on, pretzel 2. Nice and clean all the way through the end of that rail. Making his way into that first jump with the left side double 12. Mute grab. Almost an atom grab a little bit on that one. The switch double bio. Oh, and just not having enough. Looks like he caught his ski on the knuckle.
Oh, and you can see the frustration right there.
One of the guys who's always up there threatening the podium, so that's a shocker to have him go out in this qualifier.
Had that slip up in round number 1. Gave him an 18.75 and is going to have to settle for a 21.25 here. Bumps him up 1 spot. I mean, silver lining there. You moved up 1 place in there, but a tough break right there for Antoine Adelise. So Ryan Stevenson still hanging tough there with that 6.2.75. Again, top 10 transfer on into the final, and that is the benchmark. Take another look at the standings to the NFL Films background tunes.
I love it. Everyone's sitting up in there. We have 3 Americans so far up in that top group. Sure,
and 3 Canadians in there from the Etienne Geoffrey Gagnon, Mark Hendrickson, and Evan McCaffrey.
It's like we have a 4th American right on that bubble spot with Ryan Stevenson. So all these guys trying to get those Olympic points, trying to make their way to Beijing.
Well, taking a look at some highlights to how we got to this point in the comp thus far.
Great to see Nick clutch in his second run, come out there, put it down, make his way up into that final grouping to be in finals. But putting all the pressure on himself, having to do it in his second run. Lots of great skiing today. Beautiful day out here at Copper. About as good as it gets. These are the kind of days you dream of as a park skier, being out here in the sun.
Yeah, you have Oliver Magnuson bumping up from that number 8 spot, put himself in the number 2 position there. But it's been Colby Stevenson in the party jacket, as you've dubbed it, that's been on that top spot all day long with that 89.25. We'll see if anyone's going to challenge for that top position. We still got a lot of skiing left to go here. So we bring back in Mac Forehand for run number 2.
Mac getting things going on that top wall ride feature. A lot of the guys opting for that route. Switch 270 on, continuing swap, continuing 2 out. Switch right 450 on, just off to the side a little bit. And those are those things that the judges have to take into account. Going into that right side double cork 1260, getting the double Japan in there, coming in switch to jump number 2 with the switch left double 9. And then looking into this last jump with the left side double 12, going deep on that one, capping that tail grab. So a huge improvement from his first run. See what the judges end up doing with it. But great style. Love that tail grab on the last jump. It's like DC's trying to track him down, maybe talk to him about it. There's a switch 270 on, backside switch up, continuing 2 out. Love it when they decide to do all these switch ups, and I get to say them all. The 450 on, you see, just came off a tiny bit early. Got to the end of the rail, but it wasn't as clean as it could be. But still a huge improvement for that first run. There's the double Japan, both hands going between the legs, getting their mittens right on the ski, and the switch left double 9 there. And then finishing things off on the last jump with the left side double 12, capping that blunt grab all the way out on the end of his ski. You love to see it.
What do you think? Want to take a walk on the wild side here with the score?
I think it's going to jump up into the top 10, that's for sure. I'm not sure where it's going to end up, but I think it's going to be right around that bubble.
Oh, ready. Good.
We'll get you an update when it comes in. We've got Finn Ballou coming your way next out of New Zealand. Looks like Matt, he did jump up.
to 8th place.
Yeah, he got into 8th place with an 8.25. So now Finn here is your bubble. So now it's a 76.75 or better to get in.
Then little bobble off the wall right there. Maybe getting a little caught up, but still keeping it together, doing that rodeo off. There's the front side switch up to backslide the switch off that transfer rail. Coming in, switch to the down rail, switch right 270 on, tails over, 270 off. And then making his way into the Tundra takeoff. Big right side double 10, getting that one nice and clean with the safety grab. There's that left side double 12 with the mute. Coming in, switch to the last jump, see what he's got for us with the switch right, double 12. So nice run top to bottom. We'll see if that improves to get him off that bubble spot, because he is not safe sitting in 10th right now. There's a look back at those rails. There's that switch right 270, tails over. So getting his tails over 270 on, continuing that 2 out, and then coming into that Tundra takeoff, the Toyota twofer, the right side double 10. A lot of guys taking that right takeoff and spinning to the left, and Finn's actually spinning to the right off of it, so it ends up popping him up a whole lot higher.
He's not going to improve, so he's going to hang on to that first run score and hope that that is enough, with a lot of skiers still to come. So when Mac forehand bumped up there, that bumped Finn down to that bubble, so that is where he is going to stay for now with that 76.75.
That is not the place I want to be right now, Jimmy.
That's a tough one.
But better there than down below.
Yeah,
still
better
in right
there
now
than on the outside looking in at this point with no more runs to go. So the 80s go all the way down to 8th place as of now. But Ryan Stevenson coming your way next. He was on that bubble spot. He now finds himself just one spot out, sitting in that number 11 position here.
Look at him, just as pumped up as before. Probably shotgunned a few more Mountain Dews before run number 2. The most hyped up guy out here. I love it. Can barely see his legs as well.
That's why we were not able to find coffee this morning. Yeah. He had it all.
More power to him. He's got to do a harder job than we do today, Jimmy. Get things started with the switch right 270 on, continuing 450 out, making his way across the course. The switch 270 on, back swap to forward, and then coming into the third rail feature. Getting a little caught up and unfortunately having a revert around. Doing a nice backflip for all the fans out here. So that's going to take him out of contention. Unfortunately, he will not be making it into finals.
So Finn is going to hang on for now with that 76.75.
But a huge stylish cork 3 for everyone out here. Love to see it. Still having fun. Most caffeinated man at Copper Mountain right now.
Rough conditions out there. Slow.
Says it's slow, Jimmy.
That seems to be the general consensus out here when we get these little audio clips from everybody at the bottom of the course. Take a look up top here. Woodsy back up on deck out of Sheffield, UK. This is James Woods. He's a couple spots out.
Woodsy getting things going. Slide to the wall ride, and then the rodeo out of the wall ride, bringing that around to forward. Going into that transfer rail with the backside 360 switch up to switch. Coming in, switch to rail number 3 here with the switch right 450 on, continuing 2. So cleaning that one up from run number 1. Coming into jump 1 with the switch right, double 9 octo. So reaching through, both hands on the skis. There's the left side double 10. I think he had a Japan there right back behind his leg. Into the right side double 14 to 16. So sneaking that one through. A whole lot of spinning there at the end. I'm not sure where that's going to end up. It's going to be a close one. There's a look back at the top. There's the switch right 450 on, continuing 2 out. So a little bit of an improvement on the rails from his first run. And everything was going pretty well until he hit that last jump and went for the 16 and had to kind of wash it around. There's another look at that octo grab. So both hands on the ski, pulling them together. One of the Woodsy trademarks, a la Charles Gagne from back in the day. There's that left side double, reaching down, getting the Japan grab back behind his leg. And then here's that 16. You see him bring it around to 14 and just wash it through. So not as clean as he'd wanted, but one of the more difficult tricks we've seen so far.
and a 51.50, so an improvement on the score, but not the placing, so he will settle for 17th on the day. Your next skier up, currently sitting inside that top 10. He's in that number 6 position as we bring back in Alex Hall.
Alex known for some creative lines here. Switch on, 270 to 270 out. Coming into the transfer rail as well. Backside 360 switch up. Little shifty off. Tons of style bringing that to switch. Showing how much control he has. Switch 270 on. Continuing 4. Coming in switch to the first jump with the switch right. Double 9 safety. So keeping it pretty tame on that first jump feature. But here we go with the left side double 12. Seatbelt Japan. Reaching across his body like a seatbelt. The left side double 12. Maybe phantom grabbing that mute there a little bit. We'll see if that's going to be an improvement, but very clean on the rails. Fun to watch. Here's a look back at the backside 360 switch up. Watch him lock in, do that shifty back to switch. Probably my favorite trick I've seen so far today. And then into that switch 270 on, onto the down rail. Not a whole lot of height to do this backside 4 out, but nice and clean. Making his way through into that switch right double here. See him reach down and again, kind of getting his hand on the boot, not as much on the bottom of the ski. And those are the little things, unfortunately, the judges have to use to separate these guys. Here's a look at that last one with the switch double and just kind of missing that on that 14. Excuse me, I think I called it a 12 before. I'm going to get roasted for that one, Jimmy.
So what you're saying is with those groupings with the scores is that space is hard, Pete. You got to find room to slide everybody around.
Oh yeah, space is hard, Jimmy.
So a 74 flat, he's going to stick with that first run score. It's going to keep him in 6. He'd like a little bit of breathing room, but we'll see how this turns out. 6th, not a terrible spot to be. The scores in the 80s go all the way down to that number 8 position. Your next competitor up, he currently sits in that number 3 spot, so feeling pretty safe as of right now. This is Switzerland's Fabian Busch coming back in for his second of 2 attempts.
Fabian, definitely a few places where he could improve on this run. We'll see what he does here. Going a little backside into the wall ride. Also opting for the cork 540 off of there. Coming in switch to that transfer rail. Switch on, frontside switch up to backslide. Continuing 2 out. Into the right side 2 on, pretzel 2. Crazy to see how consistent he is with those 2 tricks in a row there. There's that right side double 1080, getting the mute grab. Coming into the next jump with the left side double cork 12. Little more amplitude on this run, getting that tail. Coming into the last one with the switch right, double misty 1440. Great run. See if it's an improvement. I think it's going to bump up a little, but I don't know if it's going to change ranking. We'll see what they do with it. Here's a look back at the rails. Getting things going. There's that right side 270 on, locking that front edge, pretzeling that one around, spinning back the opposite direction, 2 pretzel 2. And then here's that first one on the Toyota takeoff with the right side double 1080, getting the mute grab, holding it all the way through the rotation. The left side double cork 12 there. So a lot of good rotations, making his way through the course, doing different axis, and then landing very clean. So we'll see what they do with it, but I think it's going to bump up.
Yeah, it actually didn't. They made him stick with his first run score there, so that's going to keep him in that number 3 spot. So,
well, what do I know?
They snuck it in there on you on the replay.
It was quick. I'm going to have a conversation with him. Get things going.
Evan McEachran.
Coming in. Little 270 off. There's that backside 360 switch up on that transfer. That's a big transfer. A lot of distance to travel there. Switch 270 on, continuing 270 out. We'll see if he locks in that meter grab again. Nope, just going for that op Japan on that double 1080. To the right side, double 12. Getting that nice and clean. Coming in switch to the last jump with the switch left double 1440. Lacing that one. Evan McEachran doing it for Canada. Great to have him out here. Always a joy to watch ski. Here's a look back at that first rail feature. So going on that transfer rail, frontside switch up, continuing 270 out. And making his way into the next one. So keeping it pretty tame on these rails. That's a big transfer there with the backside 360 switch up, but not a whole lot of technical difficulty mixed in there. There he goes for that op Japan grab, not going for the meter grab this time. seat if that pays off for him. There's the right side double 12. Like a bit of a double grab there as well. So sitting in
He was in that
ninth
number 9
place
spot
right now.
Love to give yourself some breathing room. He had that 79.50. Again, the 80s go all the way down to 8th place, and you got Evan with that 79.5, and Finn Ballou sitting on the bubble with a 76.75. You can see just waiting for it, looking at that monitor. What's it going to be?
Really making him wait for it.
Connor Ralph on deck, followed by Hunter Henderson and then James Consler. Those are the next 3 that we will see drop here. We're down to the latter half here. For just joining us at DudeTour.com. This is run number 2 out of 2 out here for the men's ski slopestyle qualifier. Top 10 moving on into the final.
It's one of those tough spots where the judges are sitting here trying to
sweet
compare
time,
all of these different runs that have been going on today. So they're looking back at run number 1, trying to figure out if his run compares or bumps up. We'll see what it does here.
And it does. He bumps up 3 spots with an 83.25. So we talked about breathing room, and that was key right there. So out of that hot seat in that number 9 spot, he finds himself in that 6th place position. So yeah, Finn Ballou still hanging on there because Evan was ahead of him in the standings, so that doesn't affect our bubble. That's still the 76.75 as of right now. So we bring in Montana's Connor Ralph.
Ralphie getting things started on that first wall ride feature. Coming into the second one, the backside 360 switch up. Keeping it nice and clean. Coming in switch with the switch left 450 on. Looking good so far through the rails. We'll see what he has for us in the jumps. There's the right side double cork 12, getting the safety grab right underneath his boot there. Into the switch left double 12 Japan, little back seat. We'll see if he has enough speed. A huge improvement there on that one with the left side double cork 12. So Ralphie putting down a run. Love to see it. Another guy out there using a nice set of poles.
Stay here? Cool.
Great job from Ralphie. Due to a rookie. There's that backside 360 switch up. Surface skis just locking on there. And the switch left 450. So upping the ante, but making his way all the way through the course and not having an issue like he did on the first run on the 3rd jump. So mixing up the spin, spinning both directions, both ways double corks. There's a look at that switch double, getting the Japan grab. Maybe a little backseat landing there where they're going to have to take into account and see where that puts him. Not sure if it's going to scratch into the top 10, but it is going to be a close one.
So again, that 10 scored. Finn Ballou with a 76.75.
Love having Ralphie out here wearing those Alex Hackle Pro Model goggles. Shout out to Alex Hackle.
It's going to be close, but not enough. So he's going to have to settle for 11th. So clean it up here in run 2, but still not enough to get in. So Finn Ballou hangs on for yet another run here. Coming your way right now out of New Hampshire, 18 years old. We welcome back in Hunter Henderson.
Hunter getting things started, also opting for that backside 360 switch up, continuing 4 on the wall ride. The wall ride is a very popular feature on that top section. The switch 270 on, continuing 4 out, so nice and clean. The switch left 270, pretzel 2, so both ways switch 2s up top. Coming in switch to the Tundra takeoff with the switch double, wrapping that one around, getting the safety grab. Coming into jump number 2 with the right side double 10, capping that tail grab. Looking good so far. Into the forward double Misty 14. Oh, and just landing a little back seat, unfortunately. But what a cool axis and way to make it over that last jump. I have to take another look at that one and see what went wrong. Going back up to the rails here with the switch right 270 on, continuing 450 out. Nice and clean. And then he follows that up with the switch left 270. Judges love seeing the skiers go mirroring these tricks where they do both of those spins. Here's a look back at the jumps. But skiing very well. That switch double, getting that safety grab, wrapping that one all the way around. And unfortunately, just landing a little bit back seat on that 3rd jump. So I'm not sure if that's going to be able to crack into that top 10 with that mistake.
He was down there at the bottom of the pack in 26. It'll give him a high 40s of 47.25 that moves him up into 19th, but not enough. So again, Finn Ballou is hanging on with that 76.75. Another competitor coming up who's on the outside looking in. This is James Consler.
James getting things going. Getting it started with the switch 270 on, pretzeling that 450 out. A little bit of after banging that right away. Oh, and just getting a little caught up, unfortunately, on that disaster and going down hard.
He's taking that one on the neck and the shoulder. Got a little bit of face right there. Pops right back up. He's giving everybody in the start structure the thumbs up. That was nasty.
Good grief.
That little extra, my collarbone.
That little extra soft snow from yesterday may have saved him, because that was a slam.
That was a snow sample. Mouse trap.
Just making his way, having some fun on this course. A little hand drag off that next knuckle.
Man, he just awfully spry right there. He just bounced right back up on it like nothing.
Kids these days.
I'd be like, basket, bring me the basket.
I don't think I'd get up. I'd just lay there.
Wait for someone to bring you a meal voucher. Like, I'm good. I'm going to hang out here for about an hour.
Take my meal voucher. Done for the day. Maybe a little bit of a gin and tonic, and I'll just hang out here.
Tough break there for James Consler. So moving right along out of Norway, we welcome back in Sebastian Sheriff. He's kind of down there in the bottom of the pack, sitting in that number 24 spot right now. You'd be waiting for the St. Bernard to show up with the magic barrel around his neck.
I'd enjoy that, though. I'm a dog person. You know that. Met a very nice dog yesterday in the
over there in the
wherever that was.
Office. Production office.
Production office, that's what it was.
Ptarmigan A, I believe.
There's Seb, that bio 1080, reaching all the way through, capping that lead tail grab, making his way in the jump number 2 with the right side double 12. A little bit of a weird axis coming through, but keeping it together into the switch double, coming up a little bit short on that knuckle on the switch dub 12, but definitely an improvement from the fall in his first run. We'll see where that ends up putting him. Here's a look back at the rails. The left side 450 on there, continuing 270 out, nice and clean. And then backing that up with the right side 270 on, switch up, continuing 2 out. So lots of stuff on the rails, definitely a hard rail section. The Toyota takeoff there, nice and clean. And here he goes that right side double, and he comes out just a little bit awkward through that spin, but keeping it together into the switch double 12, just catching the knuckle on his way through. But a good run. See what it does.
74 flat. It's going to get him up to 11th, knocking on the door, but not enough to get in. So Finn Ballou is still hanging strong. We're down to our final 6 skiers. And interesting to note, of our final 6, all of them are outside of the 10 cut right now.
Yeah, Finn is feeling a little bit better sitting there in 10th. But
so 5th on down, you're not safe yet.
Man, there's a lot of heaters coming after him.
There we go. Troy Podnelsack on course.
Switch 270 on, pretzeling the 450 off the top of that wall ride feature. Making his way into the next one with the backside 360 switch up, continuing 2 out. Looking back at the rail, lots of style. Left side 270 on, pretzel 2. And it might have been a right side. I might have messed that one up, Jimmy. There's the right side double 10. Getting that mute grab, making his way. Looks like he's carrying pretty good speed here. The left side double 10, a little short on the knuckle, having to skip out on the 3rd jump, unfortunately.
Oh, so that is not going to do it for Troy. So 5 left to go. Our top 5 are safe for now.
But great to have all these young skiers out here making their first appearance at the Dew Tour.
With Kieran Fagan making his way back into course here. He's just a couple of spots out right now, sitting 14th with that 60.25.
Doing that front side switch up. Pretzel 270 off that first feature, making his way into the second one. Here he goes with the right side 270 on, pretzeling 2 off a little early again on that one. And unfortunately, those are the little things that the judges have to take notice. There's the left side double 10, locking down that mute grab. Coming into jump 2 with the right side double 12. So back-to-back forward doubles. Coming in switch to the last one with the switch. Oh, and just getting a little caught off the takeoff, doing a switch 5. Not what he wanted there. So unfortunately, he will not be making his way into finals.
Finn's still hanging tough.
Finn's just smiling down there, probably talking about meat pies, just being a Kiwi. Happiest guy in the world.
So here we go. Javier Liso currently sitting in that number 16 spot. Making his way into for run number 2, starting off switch.
Javier with a good first run, just looking to clean it up. There's a switch 270 on, pretzeling that 450 out, spinning back the other direction. Backside 360 switch up, kind of getting a little caught up, looking for the backslide or the 1-footer there. Not quite exactly what he wanted. Switch right 270, continuing to on that one. And then making his way into the 100 takeoff. Oh, and unfortunately not enough speed for him, having to wash around. And that'll be it for him. Still having a little bit of fun out here, doing a nice big cork 3 on that last jump. That's what I'm here for, those cork 3s.
We're down to our final 3 here. You got Max Moffitt, Charlie Noza, and then Ferdinand Dahl is going to take us out of this men's ski slopestyle qualifier. So Colby Stevenson in the driver's seat with that 89.25. But the story we've been talking about is that Finn Ballou has been hanging on throughout this entire second round with that 76.75. Wasn't able to bump it up in his second run, had to settle for 2 points less. So with the best run counting, he's hoping that first run score is the one that holds up and hopefully gets him in here. We shall see with 3 skiers left to go as we bring back in Max Moffitt.
Max, no stranger to being in these finals, hoping to clean up that first run with that 270 on, continuing 450 out. Get things going. Backside 360 switch up, just getting onto the rail a little bit. Switch right 270 on, pretzel 2 out. So making his way through the rails, a little bit of a bobble, but still keeping it together. There's a switch right, double 9, bow and arrow. So both hands on the skis, pulling it back like a bow and arrow. The next left side double there, keeping it together. Into the right side double bio 14.
Wow.
Putting that one down much better than his first run. Keeping it friendly in the air this time.
Let's go.
Let's go, Max says. He is hyped on that one and in a much better mood than he was in his first run.
And rightly so, as we take another look here off the wall ride.
From 270 on, continuing 450 out on that one. Keeping those rails together. This is the only thing where he comes up just a little short on that backside 360 switch up that the judges are going to have to play into their score. We'll see what happens here. And then here's another look at that last one with the double bio 14, lacing that one with the safety grab. Very cool axis, throwing himself forward, spinning 4 full rotations.
I'm alive.
We will see what happens.
Stop worrying now.
Because I'm alive and stop worrying. He was down there in 24th pre-run. Is this going to be enough to overtake one of those 10 spots and get in? We are about to find out. He bumps up to a 67.75, and it's not. He's going to have to settle for 3 spots out, so he will finish in 13th on the day. So Finn Ballou hangs on again with 2 more skiers left to go here in this qualifier. Charlie Noza coming your way next.
Noza looking to just clean up a few things from that first run. Here's a look at that switch 270 backslide. So just 1 ski on there, 270 out. Nice and clean there. Front side 360 switch up, continuing to. So already an improvement. And there's that blender switch 450 on. So completely blind, switching which shoulder he's spinning off of. Coming into that tundra takeoff with the bio 9. A little wash in that landing. See if he has speed for this next jump, and unfortunately not putting that one together. So Charlie will not be making it into finals, but a nice nose butter 7 off the knuckle.
Well, with that, Charlie knows that he's not going to make it into the final. And we got 1 skier left to go here, Pete, with Ferdinand Dahl left to go. So is Finn Ballou going to hang on? Will we see him in the final? Or will Ferdy bump him out here? It all comes down to this last run right here.
Ferdy getting things started. Looked like a switch 50-50 up that pole jam. Onto that next feature there. I've taken another look at that one. There's the 450 on, locking that into switch. Coming in switch 270 on. Oh, and just missing the rail. So that is not going to do it. So he's going to make his way through here, but we will not be seeing Ferdy in finals. And Finn has somehow,
with that 76.75, has held up through this entire second round for the most part.
Love to see it.
And we will see him in the final. So Finn breathing a sigh of relief wherever he may be on the mountain right now. So we'll see him to ski another day here on the slopestyle course. But Colby Stevenson comes out in the party jacket and all in the top spot here at the end of the men's ski slopestyle qualies.
Colby just keeping it clean all the way through his skiing today, bringing the difficulty, different things, not going upside down twice on every feature too, like some of these guys with the nose butter 10. But great to see Colby out here, stoked on his skiing, stoked on his jacket. You look good, you feel good, you play good, Jimmy.
Taking a look at some highlights here from our top 3 overall here in the slopestyle qualifiers.
Lots of good skiing out here today, but definitely some room for them to build for finals. There's a lot of tricks where they could add another rotation, maybe change up the grabs a little bit. And that rail line, there's a ton of possibilities that people still haven't tapped into, so we'll see what they end up doing for finals.
Yeah, again, in this round, you had Oliver Magnuson jump up. He was down in that number 8 spot, gave himself some breathing room to crack into the top 3 right there. So speed was an issue out here today, but our top 10 have been decided as we move on in the weekend here. One ski event of the day out here, day 2 of 5 here from Dew Tour Copper Mountain 2021. So there you go. Colby Stevenson, Oliver Magnuson, Fabian Bush, Nick Gepper, Etienne Jeffrey Gagnon, Evan McEachran, Alex Hall, Mark Henderson. So that's your top 8 right there. Mac Forehand gets it done in run number 2, bumps up that number 9 spot, but it's the Kiwi, Finn Ballou, that hangs on with that first front score of that 76.75 after nervously having to watch the entire competition unfold in round number 2. He does earn his spot into that final and will ski on another day out here at Copper Mountain. So looking back over to the Superpipe, we saw the women's qualifier. Well, we saw a couple of look-ins there on the women's qualifier. We got the men's Superpipe qualifier coming up here at 11:30 Mountain Time. So we're going to exit the booth here, and Brad J and Todd Richards and DC are going to have the call on that one. And then I believe there's a snowboard men's slopestyle qualifier coming up later on today as well here, Pete, coming up at 1 o'clock this afternoon.
A whole lot of good stuff to watch out here. Copper Mountain, beautiful day.
So there you go. Hang on, we'll be back here at 11:15 Mountain Time for the men's snowboard pipe qualifier.
Dew Tour is brought to you by Mountain Dew. Do the Dew. Toyota. Let's go places.
We get out. Fire it up. Hook big ones. We get out and rip it. And we track them down. So crack a Mountain Dew. Get out and do.
Do you want to get better at snowboarding? I've been snowboarding for 17 years, and I'm going to teach you everything you need to know for beginner tricks all the way to expert. My name is Brock Crouch, and welcome to Stomp Sessions.
Safeway is bringing the fresh every day. Crispy, juicy, delicious. We're cutting fresh, so you don't have to. Slicing fresh in-store. Icing, baking, and flower bouquet making. This is how we do fresh. Come and get it. Safeway. Fresh foods, local flavors.
My gravel parking lot is filled with run-down cars. The snow city waste is made by city farms. And if I stay up late, then I can hear the sound of people's recklessness back in the broken house.
You know, space is hard. It used to be all we had to worry about was astrophysics, Kepler's law, gamma rays, solar flares, rocket science, black holes, and the theory of relativity. But now we also track about 30,000 objects, orbiting at over 17,500 miles an hour. And our entire way of life depends on us to protect our satellites from attack, day and night. So yeah, space is hard.
Go wherever your wild side takes you. Toyota, let's go places.
Look at the sun, see how it shines on our lives. We were never meant to see the truth in their eyes. All your life they brought you up, believing
what we're doing, it's dangerous. A lot of people can get hurt getting through the fear factor. It's so hard.
My philosophy has always been to embrace it. That's kind of what brings out the best in me, is when the stakes are high. Man, we're right on a knife blade, you know? If you land here, you're in the flats. If you land here, you're on the deck. Oh man, this is the moment.
My mind goes blank, like I have the jitters. It takes a lot of courage and mental preparation to do what we do.
I'm already nervous, like I'm so nervous.
It's exciting. It pushes us to learn new things and test ourselves in different ways that we haven't before.
I hype myself up and freak myself out. It's more just a brain game at the end of it, you know?
It is a little nerve-wracking. I just put in my music as loud as I can, just try to block everything out and do it in the safest and best way that I can.
Definitely scary, but I realized like this is why I do this, because nothing else makes you feel that alive.
2009 season, right before the 2010 Olympics, this sport changed big time. specifically at the New Zealand Open.
The half pipe trick selection changed to, I want to do a 1080, but I want it to be kind of double dipped. You know, that's going to add another flavor for the judges.
These guys show up flipping twice, and we're all looking. Only 3 guys had double corks, really. The rest of us are looking at each other like, seriously? Great. How do we do this now? Who wants to try this? No one.
I'm not only spinning 1,080 degrees, but I'm also flipping twice.
It was a lot to comprehend. I remember watching that final and just going, are you kidding me? It jumped overnight. I mean, that was probably the biggest leap I've seen in the sport ever. We saw Louis Vito drop in and do the first frontside double ever in competition. Sean went after and did one.
Sean, Mason, and Luke, their air awareness was unlike many at the time.
Luke Matrani had one, and it became a doubles comp.
Luke was on like a whole other level, almost like gymnast style. The double corks brought in new fear that you would deal with. You know, a commitment maybe is what I would call it.
You know, I've been waiting my whole life to see him land something like that, and I know he has too, so I'm proud of the kid. Proud of my little brother.
It's a whole new game these days, you know? Everybody's doubling. People are a little scared.